Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Rise and Write with Grace and James. I'm Grace.
I'm James.
He's James. And this is a place for creators, collaborators, and fun company for the journey. Today, I have fellow Southern California girl, Cassie Rajewich, with me from clean across town, all the way into next county over, but close enough. She's the closest one. She is a certified money coach, a sales strategist. She manages a social media brand, and she's a full-time mama on top of all of it. Thanks for joining us, Cassie.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here with you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. We're super excited that you're making the time. We wanted to have you on, Cassie, to talk about, you and I work both for we're doing work for Kathy Lip. We're in some of the same groups. You have been going through a massive pivot this past year, pivoting from one kind of theme in your business to another with a similar through line. So we're very interested to talk to you about what you're working on and why it has been so hard.
And the pivot.
And the pivot.
How
yeah.
that pivot, challenges with the pivot.
Yeah.
So can you backfill us in on, give us kind of where you were, where you're headed, and where you were going? Yeah.
I'll try. You
Yeah.
You might need to guide me a little bit. Sometimes I get lost. So, all right. And again, guys, thanks for having. And it is fun to dig in when you're in the middle of it. So I'm glad I get to lay down my messiness before you all. I was coming, so the last 6 years I served single moms, and I launched that. I just had a desire to write and give back. I have a 10-year single mom story, along with everything else I feel like I've accomplished at my age. But that 10 years really had me longing to just lend a hand back to single moms. So I started a blog and wound up just finding my way through helping single moms master messy places. And what that landed me in was with their money, their money journey. Oftentimes it was their finances. So I did that for 6 years. And then 2019 came and I could kind of feel the wind blowing. I was, like you said, we worked for Kathy Lip. And so here's 2019. And I feel like there's a stirring inside and there's something shifting. But then 2020 hit, and unbeknownst even to me, I feel like, there was this force that moved us all in one way, shape, or another, whether it be economically, geographically, health, right? So many things shifted. But for me, thankfully, so many things did stay the same, but this moved. It was just timing. I knew that it was time to step out and help. What I landed on was business women and their finances, and to help them leverage their income and live out their bravest stories. And especially during a time when there is so much economic and just lively upheaval. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm in the middle of.
What did you live out?
Their bravest stories.
What was the line before it?
Leverage their income.
Leverage their income.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
What does that mean? I mean,
yes.
Specifically, leveraging your income.
Well, one of our biggest assets besides ourselves, in your own mind and your own dreams and desires, right, is your income. And when you don't have it in order, or when you aren't using it, because especially as a business owner, we have our hands in so many things. So to take that income and leverage what you have to build, grow, and get as far as you can with your story, your life story, right?
Yes. And your brave story, that's really clear. That's a really clear direction for so that's where you're headed with your financial coaching part. That's a really beautiful place to be.
Well, I'm glad I have that tagline, because I have to go back to it constantly, because when you're starting a new thing, it's easy to get lost.
Yes. And that is a real true north. I'm writing it down because that is like a very clear mission statement and true north for you.
Yeah.
What,
Based on that,
Yeah.
it sounds like there's a spiritual aspect. I'm picking. I could be wrong, but to what you teach. I mean, it sounds like there's probably some of it is budgeting, saving, getting out of debt, those things. But it sounds like it's more than that. It's about it sounds like there's something deeper than just the normal things about investing and stuff. I was wondering if that's true and how that.
You mean the brave story part?
Yeah, I'm really curious about the brave story part of that and what that means to you. And
James, is it James or Jim?
James.
James. Okay. I love James. If I'm being honest here, there's a part of my own story that's kind of unfolding as I go. And I think in all of our lives, there's this land we're trying to obtain. And I watched my dad my whole life. He has an entrepreneur spirit. My mother diagnosed him as ADD, probably in their 40s, maybe 30s. But I watched him try to build things his whole life. Amazing things, incredible things, from log home to he built a log home from wood off of our land, from scratch and with no architect. And he built a wagon that we rode on, and we had mules. And but his biggest accomplishment was when he was in his 60s, and he started an off-road company, Vegas Off-Road Tours to be exact, in Las Vegas, in a very intense, high-pressure sales tourist industry. But I was a girl that followed him along in that. And so there was this money thing, and there was this business thing. And then my own self, growing up out of my home and my family, like we all do. We grow out of our home and our family, and then we have our own journey to embark on, right? And so there is this deeper part of it, because I wound up getting into huge financial mess, one failed marriage, and just getting lost. Just kind of lose yourself a little bit if you're not careful, right? And trying to gain that footing. So pulling out those dreams and getting your money in order so that you can build it and that you can really leverage it to live out the years that we have here.
Mm. So that came from personal experience.
What is something that you feel?
No, I want to ask. Sorry, I have a question about that. What was it like coming from a mess? So you found yourself in a little bit of mess, and you cleaned it up. How long did that take? And how would you describe the before and then the after? How would you compare those two from the inside? Like,
emotionally, how did it change you from the mess to the free? It sounds like freedom.
Yeah.
Some freedom.
Yeah. Well, I think you're lost and then you're found. But I filed bankruptcy on the first 50,000 I found myself in, and all that did was wipe my slate clean. It didn't teach me the founding principles of managing my money. So the second time around, I got $50,000 again. That 50,000 though was a little bit more intentional. It built my income. It built my degree. It got me out of a lot of places and got me through some stuff. But to answer your question, when I learned to pay off that debt and negotiate contracts and negotiate things and price points, that's where I really began to value my earning ability and value where my money, what it can build. So that was the biggest part of that. But in that, all of that, right, you're also doing a lot of soul searching, why do I spend my money here? Why is it going there?
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. So when you meet women, how does that feel now that you are on the other side of that? What's the difference on the inside of you? Like, how does it feel? If you could give me 2 or 3 words, like.
Maybe in control.
Well, that's, I know, right?
To what element we are all in control.
I know,
right?
Yeah, I get it.
But if I lost it all now, I would know how to rebuild it.
Oh.
And you can't take that away.
That's interesting. Well, how would you what's the word for that, right? That sense of agency, financial agency, right? Over your earning ability and managing ability. That's amazing. When you meet people, when you meet women in these places, so you're meeting them in these places that you've been, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the hardest part? You're kind of talking to yourself back. You see yourself in them, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
What is the hardest thing to get through, or the hardest concept to open their eyes to that they haven't seen with their money?
Well, it probably depends on where they're at in it. Sometimes the pain point is so deep that they're ready to do anything. But for a lot of women, it's no, saying no.
Interesting.
Saying no to what? Their own desires?
Whatever their yeses are, because they're stretched so far in their yeses. Many of them are pleasers, or, so it's fire the client, or say no to this expense that you have because you're stretched too thin. And you can, if you're trying to leverage that income, you've got to streamline it. If you're paying off debt, you've got to build it and launch it towards that. So it's no. It's no.
What are your,
We don't like to hear that. We live in America, for crying out loud. Who wants to hear the word no?
Yeah, or wait, right? You have to wait for some things, like wait for the next phone, wait for the yeah, it's yeah, it should be now, right? Yeah, it should be now. Go ahead, you had a question, Chip.
Well, I'd be curious, it sounds like one of the challenges would be debt. Like, I assume that people that come to you have debt. I think in our nation, we have tremendous debt. So would you say that one of the processes to get people going is it doesn't sound like just get out of debt. It seems like you're saying to find out why you got in debt to begin with, and if I could just give a quick example of my life. Years and years ago, I had a really expensive car I couldn't afford. That wasn't the problem, that was a symptom. The problem was, why did I need a car that I couldn't afford? It was because I was insecure and because I didn't have a lot of confidence, and I thought this car would fill a void, and surprise, surprise, it didn't.
And you were 18.
I was 18, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, in all fairness.
But that's where it all starts.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so you get those free t-shirts and a credit card.
Yeah.
That t-shirt costs probably 50 grand. But I was just wondering, it sounds like it's a combination, I'm sure, of pragmatic steps of getting out of debt, but then maybe going a little deeper and finding out, maybe, like you said, like what needs in terms of saying no, being a people pleaser and so forth, that creates the debt to begin with. Is that
yeah
fair?
And that's why it takes a lot of trust.
For them to be taught, or to be open to, and just from personal experience, I think it also takes in my journey, I'm an 80s base, so we were pretty much raised on debt, like you got a credit card right away. It really takes a mindset switch to be able to even conceive of a life of cash. Like it takes a huge, and this could be a whole different topic, but just perceiving of a life where you actually pay for stuff when you buy it it takes a whole shift.
It's almost inconceivable.
Yeah, that is the biggest leap, is like, oh, well, if, why would I pay for it all now if I don't have to? But even if you can, like, I should borrow the money, like, it just makes sense.
Why would you pay 20% more than that?
Why stretch it out? I know, like, that's what I was saying about the weight part. Like, it really, I can't even describe that. There aren't words for, like, just shifting that perspective and saying, oh, I'll pay for it now, paid in full as a lifestyle.
Or I'll wait a month when I can afford it, and then I'll wait for cruise. Now, I know that you said that you were pivoting. Yeah. And I'm really curious, like, how has that pivoting been for you emotionally and with your business, and just how did it, you talked a little bit about how it came about, but I'm curious how that and why you pivoted and how that's been for you, the process of that pivot.
I think one of the biggest challenges has been the imposter syndrome that we hear a lot about. And I was comfortable where I was. I had kind of found my voice there. I was in a groove. I had a groove. I was in, so moving it and shifting it was finding a new voice in my writing, and definitely in my writing. My authority, my position of authority was jolted. So, yeah, definitely finding what are all the other women saying, right? So how are they leading, and what are the hot topics? And because I was in this place of really serving single moms, some of my clients were business single mom owners, but to just emerge myself with business women and their finances, it's challenged me in just anchoring into that new mindset in a way. I'm still me, but it looks a little different. So that's been my biggest challenge.
Yeah, it's a great niche though, because I think the idea of reinvesting, it's like that book that Tanya and Kathy talk about a lot, the Profit First.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of automatically reinvesting in yourself, setting an amount of your income that goes, not the after, you don't get the dregs of your income after everything's paid to reinvest, but you pull off the top for reinvestment, whether it's energy, money, time, all the things she talks about, space. I think that is a massive mind shift that, like I get income, I should set, we're writers who get income once, you set a portion aside for growth, and that you're valuing yourself first before anybody else values you. It's an obscure concept to grab onto when it just seems like, you spend the money to build. It's like, no, you can, that reinvestment idea, it builds a firmer foundation, I think, in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your, I'm curious also, what is your process? Do you have a certain time of the day that you work on this? I know you have like a lot going on, including children and so forth. Is there a certain time of the day? Is it like from 1 to 3? This is how does that, a little more free flowing? I'm curious how you structure.
Yeah. I came out of corporate where I was a single mom, and, I worked, I worked a lot of hours, and it was in sales. And I was very structured, it's sales. You had to make 90 phone calls a day, 90 phone calls a day on top of everyone you interviewed and enrolling these students. I worked at the Art Institute in Las Vegas. Then, changing everything. I got married, merged lives, and blended a marriage, and then 3 babies, and then growing this business. So, and it's definitely got, my plates got more full through the years. And I was always afraid that starting my own business, I wasn't going, I thought that it had to look like corporate. I thought that it had to look like the discipline, the tracking sheets, the calendar, all of that. And unbeknownst to myself, it's not been able to operate that way. 3 children in the home under 6 is you've plus a 21-year-old who likes to call randomly in need of, I don't even want to say on here, but just all the things a almost 21-year-old could need, and find herself deep in. So what that looks like is a flow. It's definitely a flow. And what I have been learning is I'm a doer, and rest doesn't come easy for me. So, but 3 children, you have to find that rest. So as a driver, as a challenger, as a pusher with 3 little ones, and I don't want to hurt their little spirits. I want to grow them well. So I have to learn how to be interrupted, and be very kind in my when I'm interrupted. So there is a lot of lots of things going on internally that are growing me to really be a better person. Gentleness, right? And be gentle when we're interrupted, not snappy and mean, right?
Yeah, I've seen you on lives when your children literally open the door and wander in, and you're so sweet with them, and I like the way you fold them into, you literally take them in your arms sometimes and just invite them into your experience. And I think I watched the little one that last time you were on, and they're engaged. Like they know that you're doing something, and they sit and they're interested, and they're watching you the whole time. And you're teaching.
They didn't ask for me to to do this mom that couldn't put things down, that mom that just said, I'll wait till they're older. I mean, first of all, let's be honest, I'm 44, going to be 44 next month. And, I don't feel like I've got, till I'm 60 to start something I love. So I want to love it all and have it now. And so finding the space to do that, but they didn't ask for that,
Well,
Right.
it's, yeah. So the writing, you mentioned, you touched on the writing. So I know you have, in addition to the business that you're building, and then you're supporting someone else's business, you have your own book that you're trying to write. And I know you had to set it on a back burner. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you arrived at the decision to put the business part first beyond and come around to the book later?
I still write it at night in my head, right? Don't we? As creators, we write all the time, So, but as someone who's I'm an Enneagram 8, I probably have one of the, not that you guys are on the Enneagram, but I have a very high capacity with energy, but I still had to recognize where my plate's full. And I'm in a business mastermind, and the gal that runs it, we had a one-on-one, and she said, writing a book should be something you love, you love to do. And it sounds like you really want to love writing this book. So why don't, or here are your options, and what about this? And she was actually talking about a conversation with somebody else she had. And I kind of invited myself in and said, could we have a similar conversation? And she said, you have permission to put this down, So I do write chapters in my mind when things come down, and I jot it down real quick, but I am not focused on the completion date of it and a proposal for it, because it's just, right, we can only do so much. And so knowing our capacity.
Yeah. But I think that's a brave thing. Like you talk about a brave story, setting something down
is a no.
Is a no. And that's exactly what you're saying. Like you're saying you don't have that cash is not available, and you're not willing to go into emotional or energy debt for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have to
step aside, Oprah.
You have to settle, but I think limits are real. You hit your credit limit as far as yeah, it's interesting.
Love it, Grace. I love it.
It's interesting because there are no insufficient funds on our time. We cannot go into the negative. Like there's only so much, and you have to choose. And it is really hard, especially when we're both on social media a lot and in circles where women are doing things. It's hard not to feel like you're the only one not doing it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you're doing so much else. And you're learning along the way. What's the hardest part about the season that you're in right now, you personally?
And how do you cope with it?
Yeah.
Also, or how do you deal with the challenges?
Probably make my time. My time is so precious that I have a team. I have an amazing team I've built up around me that keeps me focused, because I tend to like to chase shiny objects. And so any one of them could take me off, and then that's my time.
There's the baby. There she is. She made it. I love it. This is going to be public. Is that okay? Do you need me to pause?
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. As long as you're okay with that, I just wanted to make sure.
So with so much, going on, and obviously with 3 children and everything, what do you do to help fill yourself up? I mean, meditation, prayer. I mean, a morning routine. What do you do to sort of, when you're feeling drained, to kind of
I do have I do have the team. So like I've got the business mastermind. I have a spiritual group of women. That's the side piece of that internal. I have a therapist. I have a
Me
lot.
too. It's LA. Everyone. It's law out here.
P.S. a fellow 8 right here. So yeah, he gets
Yes,
it.
right.
Yes.
So I think that we're high energy. Yes. Okay, we'll fix it in just a minute. That high energy person, like to keep us focused so that we can use our energy to the best. I have these moments where when I feel it start stirring, right, I just sit there and I just take the calm and I rest. I just rest my mind. This is hilarious. See, I don't know what happened to my babysitter, but
it's okay. I just want to make sure you're okay with the recording. Continue. Okay.
So,
all right.
fine.
I'm sensitive to
I'm on social media. They're on social media.
Okay.
Do you have a morning routine? Like when you get up, do you prayer, meditation, anything when you first?
Well, when 2020 hit, it got pretty hard. My husband and I thought, oh, should we pray? And we thought we would. So we put it on the calendar. Then we didn't. But most recently we have. And so at 5 a.m. we do get up. For the last couple months, we have been doing that. That has felt really good to my soul. I don't think I've ever really committed to something like that, like him and I have recently. So that's been good to our soul. Other than that, it's quiet, just coffee, no pressure, no nothing, till at least like 9.
Yeah, that's nice. And then your day takes off. Yeah.
That's great.
So you're an 8, you're a goal setter. What's your method? Yeah. What's your method for goal setting?
I just pick the most priority things, where do I want to be in 5 years? And I work backwards from that. And how will I get there on a weekly, monthly, and yearly basis? And it all comes from that 5-year, where I want to be in 5 years.
Mm-hmm. So you have a very specific checklist every day.
Every day.
Yeah. Because I know you're very timely. I know you do a lot of live stuff. So yeah, you're very busy with that. And what time do you start your day?
5 a.m.
You said 5?
5 a.m. right now. Yeah, 5 a.m. I was in bed. I was on the couch yesterday, though, about 3 o'clock when my husband rolled in because he works out of town. And I just shut off. I slept 11 hours last night.
Wow.
That's nice. All right. So here's a question I've asked. I've asked someone else, what time of day do you give yourself permission to stop? Or don't you?
I don't have a cutoff time. It could be 11 o'clock. It could be 1 o'clock. I think it's when I start feeling like it's not going good anymore. And I just take the kids and we just play. Yeah, because I homeschool them too. So.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I honestly don't know how you do it.
I didn't really want to say that, but
just the
for no other reason than I just love them and I want them here with me.
Yeah, how could you not? They are gorgeous. Yeah.
So you mentioned 5 years. That's a lot ways out. But what, like, you're starting this journey. Where would you like to be, like, in 12 months, like a year from now? Like, where would you like to see your business a year from now?
I would like to have a year from now. I'd like to have 5 good paying clients that I love deeply and that are so hungry for change. Mm-hmm. I would like to dive back into that book, and I would love to have. I would love the world to open up and we could start, just seeing like that, speaking more and just those interactions with humans. Mm-hmm. As much as I love Zoom with you guys, yes.
Yeah, no, I know. I know.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I play tennis. This is off topic, but part of it, it's just like a social. You can be outside, you can do it, and it's fun, but it's also social, and you can do it, and we're allowed to. And it's important. I mean, we're lucky to live in Southern California where the weather is good, and you can,
aren't we,
get out and talk to people. And even early on, you could go out to dinner outside at least. I mean, if you're shut up in Boston or New York, where we lived, New York, I mean, That's
Yeah.
I think much more challenging.
The weather's working against you too.
Yes.
I know you have to wrap things up. I want to ask you one quick question I asked Lori that has become my favorite question. If you could talk to the Cassie Rajewich, or maybe she was Cassie someone else, but if you could talk to Cassie during that first or second hard place that you found yourself in, the first, that bankruptcy, or the second, what would you say to her now? If you could talk to her, you know, if you could sit down and coach her, she'd become a client.
Well, I think, you know, I'd like to say it's going to be okay, but it's not okay if you don't pull your SHIT together. You know, it won't be.
What is that?
It doesn't just turn out okay.
You just said, what does that spell? He's gonna.
It'll be a while.
He's gonna sound it out.
No.
I didn't know if I was allowed to cuss on your. You know, I love Jesus and I cuss too. So, yeah. But you know, it won't be okay if you don't get a plan and you don't get a strategy and you don't pull yourself up by those bootstraps. You better lock in. Who do you want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no rescue. Only yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it true? I know. Yeah. There is no rescue coming. There.
No, I don't. I'm not a poo-pooer. I'm not like, you'll be fine. No, I'm not. I'm gonna tell you, you better dig in, girl.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you say that, because I find the people who've helped me most have been the people who have not said everything is going to be fine. That they've said, listen, you're heading down. This is not going to go well for you. You're heading down a bad path. And if you don't do something, like people who just got real with me and didn't try to make it like pretty or nice, and just kind of, I say they're the bed of nails, you know, like those are my best friends, are the beds of nails, who just save me from myself sometimes.
We all need those people.
Yeah, it's really important, and it's easy to. So it's easy to not want, like, it is uncomfortable, but man, they're good friends to have. If you have them, hang on to them. It's so true. It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that I know I sent you you are in demand.
My phone's connected to my laptop.
Okay, it's okay. This is it. This is what we're doing, right? This is real. Yeah.
Anyone that is in my life has to be a part of the crazy. You just have to.
It's okay.
You can tell. My time's expiring, huh?
I know. So is there anything that you wanted to throw in that I didn't ask you about?
No, I loved the conversation. I loved it.
Where can people find you? I'll make sure I'll do show notes. Where can people find you if they want to know more about Cassie Rajewich? And wait, leveraging their income and living their bravest story. Oh my God, I love that.
You can just find me at CassieRajewich.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put the link in.
And on social media, on Instagram, that's my IG handle, Cassie Rajewich.
I'll put your handles in the show notes. Cassie, thank you so much. Thank your babies for loaning you to us for a few minutes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I enjoyed a meeting with both of you guys.
Thank you so much. Happy Saturday.
Yes.
Yes.
On the grill.
I'm gonna go eat that steak that's been waiting for me.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye. All right. That was Cassie Rajewich and her, what does she call? She calls them free range babies. She is living real life here in Southern California. What'd you think?
I love it. It was great.
Yeah. She's so real. Yeah, she's so real. Cassie has a lot going on, and it's fascinating to chat with someone who just allows it to happen. Like, she's not trying to hide the fact that she has the children are home, her husband's cooking on the grill. We're grabbing a few moments with her when we can, and she's just making it happen. And that's brave.
It's brave. And it's, you know, it's how you have to do things sometimes. You know, there's not necessarily like, you know, this perfect time where we do pre-interviews and we pick them up we're not a late show. We pick them up in a town car, and we've already discussed about the dude's movie, and it's like it's, you know, it's sometimes just to get it done, you have to get it done whatever time you have. And we appreciate the time that people give us.
Yes. And that's the big takeaway with Cassie. One of the things I wanted to have her on was because she is in the middle of her pivot. She's not, she hasn't fully pivoted yet. She's in the middle of it, and she's just doing it day by day by day. She's keeping her foot on the gas, doing what she can, stopping when she needs to stop, resting when she needs to rest. It's just, she's been a real inspiration to me personally, because she's not waiting for that clean calendar or that slate of time. Like, she is grabbing the time when she can, and it's happening. It might be slow, but it's happening. So I just find her so amazing. Yeah. All right. Anything else to add from you?
No. I'll be very curious, like, where her journey takes her. I think money is a huge,
that's a whole
issue.
other topic. Yeah.
How you spend it, what you use it for, and, you know, the deep dive. If we need things we can't afford, I think it's worth looking at why. I'm asking for myself.
Why
sometimes.
you want them? Why you?
Well,
want
maybe
not
why you
want them, but
why you need them.
Yeah, why
There's
you?
a difference. You know, if you want something, you can wait. It's like a drug. If you want something, you can probably wait for months when you can afford it. Like, I'm going on a tour. I'm going on to Europe in 6 months. I can. But if you need something, then a need can't really wait. So if you need a car because you to feel better, then that can't really wait.
Yeah.
So, and doing the deep dive maybe, and also the pain of going through getting out of debt probably helps you not get back in, as opposed to a bankruptcy or someone paying it off. You know, Oprah did that, and that's great, but then you might wind up just going right back, as opposed to.
Even bankruptcy, though, I've heard from people, is not pretty. Like, it's not easy. It's not pretty. Yeah. So that's a whole separate, it's a whole topic we could dig into, is that financial. But I love, love, love Cassie's angle of that your income is to be leveraged for you, not for to make other people rich, but to invest in your own value of what you want to bring and what you want to create. And that's taking
a little money you're going to get to Vegas and turning it into a lot of money.
Yeah, on Black 9.
Because no one ever goes and loses.
The house never wins in Vegas.
No. No.
All right.
You've
Anyway,
seen the pictures with the big shacks.
Yeah. A lot of thinky stuff. Anyway, a lot of thinky stuff. So that is this week. We are going to plow forward. I think this is interview number 10.
Wow.
I know. We're at 10 already. So we're going to find 2 more people. Still looking for guys. Still looking for
You're looking for a man?
Yeah, a guy. Yeah. We're still looking for guys. So
we got him, man.
If you know anybody who wants to talk with us about their hard places, we want to talk to. We've lost Jim. He's overtime. But we will be back with more interviews, and then we're going to do week 13. We're going to not stop. Jim and I are just going to reflect on what we're learning. It's been 13 weeks already. So until next time, set your alarms for whatever time you feel most creative and productive.
Not 5 a.m.
Not 5 a.m. I know. Yeah.
Me and Bobbin switch lead.
Yeah. Anyway, and then Bobbin is the dog. And then go rise and write. We will see you next week. Talk to you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.